What's going on, people? We are back again with another MovingMAD video, and this one right here, this one is all about Kalani. Now we know that right now on 90 Day Fiancé The Last Resort, some of the things that have been going down have definitely not worked in Kalani's favor. So therefore, she's been receiving some serious backlash, and that backlash has gotten even freaking worse. So with that being said, if you're looking at your screens right now, so Kalani decided to post this on an Instagram story, saying, "I've had enough of the hate mail and rape/death threats. So let's clear some things up. I did not have a one-night stand with Asuelu. We didn't even kiss until 2 weeks after knowing each other. I met him in July 2016. We intentionally got pregnant May 2017. To be honest with you, I don't see how that makes things any better because you still rushed the process of getting pregnant. You knew this man for literally just about under a year. So to be honest with you, how she thinks that this justifies or covers anything is actually quite bizarre to me, but we continue. Now, the next part that I am going to read, I'm just going to say trigger warning, okay, because this may affect some people who may sadly have been through this. Continues by saying, my parents do not monetarily support me in any way and never have. The Utah house was half mine, and that's public record. And I always paid my part. I do not live with my parents and I support myself. Again, trigger warning. I had a second baby because I was held down. He apologized for that. And the other times I was SA. You know what it means? That's my trigger warning. It's recorded. You can imagine how it feels to get messages about taking responsibility and keeping my legs shut when they were forced open. You know what though, for me, this is becoming even more challenging, even more difficult when it comes to Kalani, because the fact that this is what she's saying, it saddens me more as well as infuriates me more that we are in a position where she's still involved with this man being in her life. And that is the part that is making it even harder to even fathom the situation here, because we are witnessing this woman on a TV show, The Last Resort. And it's annoying because we are having to have our own judgments based on what we are seeing and based on what she's saying on the show and also what she's saying off the show. And things don't seem to be adding up to the fact that I believe she made this post to defend herself, but yeah, I feel like this post is not doing that. I feel like this post is, if not making things worse, because she is still in a situation where this man is still in her life. I want to know why there hasn't been any restrictions in terms of a restraint order. It's very weird to me. It's very, very weird and very, very unsettling. The issue that I'm having here is that it is becoming very, very hard to know how to go about the situation, because my frustrations with Kalani and Asuelu's relationship throughout the most recent season that is going on right now of The Last Resort is that she has said that this man has cheated on her up to around 10 to 12 times. Spoke about how before he even came to the States, he was already cheating on her. And then after he came to the States, he continued cheating on her so much, he even went online to even seek people. And then also on top of that, recently when he went back to her to his homeland, he also cheated again, and that's how he ended up having the white tongue. And the thing that has been most frustrating is that she said in the show, at least anyway, that she has been pretty much protecting him by withholding his information. And then to later on now come to this point here where she's now coming out with this extra additional information, it is very disturbing to me, because I only asked the question, why? Why have you withheld this information? Not necessarily from us, but just from reporting him. You know, this is a matter that is serious, and this is a matter where I don't like the fact that Kalani has decided to come out with this information purely because she's getting hate comments, because it's one of those things where it's like a reaction. It's a reaction of frustration, so therefore now you're gonna voice everything, you know. And I say to myself, what benefit do you now have from voicing this to the public? Because my frustration is, if she's voicing this to us now, which obviously she has, but then chooses to not file complaint against this man, to file restraint order against this man, to make sure that he doesn't get custody of any of his children, is the part that is the most disturbing. So I hope that this isn't an act of where she's just trying to shut people down for sending her hate messages. And don't get twisted. People should not be sending any type of hate message whatsoever, because that is not kind, point blank, period. But the matter of fact is, because she decided to kind information in this context, in this situation, she must now act on making sure something happens to Asuelu. Something happens, in the situation of her now making sure that there's going to be repercussions, made towards him, because it is not a nice thing to come out publicly and tell people that your second child was conceived in such a malicious way, and then expect us to sit here and allow you to then continually not do anything about it. We've already heard you talk about how she had to cover up for him, with the whole infidelity. Okay, we've seen that already. Enough as it is, you know what I mean? But infidelity is one thing, but for a man to hold you down, it's absurd. It is absolutely disgusting. So again, I repeat one more time, I really hope that this is going to be the beginning of her now moving to the next phase, or at least the phase that should have been the first one, and that is making sure that Asuelu pays for his punishments. And another thing that I will also add is that in the last episode of The Last Resort, last week's episode, okay, Kalani also was having a meeting with her sister. And, one of the things that we learned was that Kalani's sister Kalani was another person that knew a lot about what was going on with Kalani's relationship with Asuelu. She knew that he had been stepping out on her. She knew that, obviously that Asuelu had been out here cheating on her sister. And this is why she always grew to have such a dislike for him, respectfully, do you know what I mean? Understandably. Now, I do wonder if her sister had also known this information that Kalani's not telling us, considering she does everything. And I only say that because I can only hope that now we're in a position where not only should Kalani get support from the public, but, in a position where now she can maybe even listen to his sister. I mean, all I'm saying is that, like, it wasn't nice to know that her sister had to live a life where she had to pretend that Asuelu was this guy when clearly he had been abusing his power with her sister. And it'd be a damn shame if she also knows about this too, and she's also had to keep hush-hush about it as well, due to the fact that Kalani didn't want no one to know about it. And I feel like Kalani's role in this situation, in terms of the fact that she's put her sister in a very difficult situation, is very, very unfair. And I do now, and also I feel like at the same time, the fact that Kalani's come out with this publicly, it is also very unfair, because this is something that's going to be triggering to a lot of people that have had the courage to speak up, and also a lot of people who have not had the courage to speak up. So I really hope that this is her stepping into that path of saying, you know what, I'm saying this now because something's going to get done with it. So what I'm basically saying is, I really hope that one of these days soon, I will be coming back on this channel, making a video at some point, as well as other people who also report on 90 Day Fiancé, saying that, hey, Kalani has pressed charges, and Asuelu is now, he's now got he's now been restricted from ever seeing her, ever seeing the kids, all that kind of stuff. Because otherwise, what is the point? What is the point of her being vocal about this if there's not going to be any actions about it? I am trying to be as sensitive as possible, and I'm trying to address this in the best way possible, but I'm not going to sit here and say to you guys, oh my God, I can't believe this happened to her. Oh my God, because at the end of the day, I'm a realistic person. And the matter of the fact is, yes, oh my God, this did happen to her, but I am more peed off by the fact that this is the context that she's used. This is the context that she's, I'm annoyed that this is how she's come out of it because of what's happening. But again, to be fair with you, that's just me. The main thing is, again, Kalani does something about it now. Something has to be done. And most important, not even most importantly, and also not only that, but even if Kalani doesn't do something about this, I really hope that TLC are obviously watching this, and they've witnessed this, and they are not going to allow Asuelu ever again on national television. Because you cannot tell me that just because he has not been arrested, that it's okay for them to continue to put him on television. So TLC, Sharp Entertainment, they also have to make their stance on the situation, say, you know what, we can't have him on the show anymore. Point blank, period. Because we've been watching a guy who done this, and by the scenes of it, multiple times to his woman over the last couple of years. No, enough is enough. Yeah. But I feel like I'm gonna leave it there because I've said a lot of things, and honestly, I could be here all day talking about it, because this is a very it's not even a matter where it's a sensitive topic, to be honest with you. It's a matter where it's a topic that has to be spoken about. It's a matter where this topic has to be you know, taken seriously. And I'll be damned if it's not taken seriously. Yeah. It's going to be tough now because, of course, we still got the rest of the season of Last Resort to finish off, and it's going to be very tough now to watch their scenes, knowing what we know now, and boy, how I'm going to react to them now. It's going to be difficult. It's going to be difficult to not be frustrated and to not be biased. But again, Kalani's goal was to come out of this to prevent people from da-da-da-da. Yeah. Thank you so much for your time. Have a good night.